Have you ever stood at the airport gate, ticket in hand, heart hammering, while a quiet voice inside you whispered, "If I stay, I'll disappear"? Not dramatic, not angry, just certain that the patterns you watched swallow your parents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, the quiet failures, the unspoken resentments, the same arguments on repeat, would claim you too if you didn't put distance between you and the soil that grew them. You're not cold. You're not selfish. You're not the family traitor. You're the one whose nervous system finally said, "Enough. We are breaking the chain." This is the quiet, aching psychology of the ones who go far from failure, even from family. Number 1, the ancient call to break the cycle. For 300,000 years, humans survived by staying close to the tribe. Safety was proximity. But what happens when the tribe itself becomes the predator? When love comes wrapped in criticism, when family first really means stay small so we don't have to face our own regrets. Your brain doesn't just notice this, it records it. Every slammed door, every "who do you think you are?" every Christmas dinner that felt like emotional quicksand. And somewhere in your mid-20s, maybe earlier, the ancient survival circuit flipped from stay close to get out. Psychologists call this differentiation of self. For most people, it's a gentle process. For you, it felt like an emergency exit. You didn't leave because you stopped loving them. You left because loving them and still becoming yourself had become neurologically incompatible. Number 2, the neuroscience of distance. Let's talk brain. Chronic exposure to family dysfunction floods your system with cortisol. Over time, that stress hormone literally changes the expression of genes, epigenetics at work. Your DNA doesn't forget, but here's the twist. The same sensitivity that made childhood painful also wired you for hyper-awareness. You spot toxic patterns the way a sailor smells a storm 2 days out. That's not anxiety. That's an evolutionary upgrade. Your dopamine system, starved of healthy reward at home, began craving novelty, new cities, new rules, new versions of success. Researchers at the University of California found that individuals from high-conflict families show elevated activity in the ventral striatum when imagining leaving home. Your brain literally lights up at the thought of distance. It's not running away. It's running toward regulation. What this looks like in real life. Picture this. You're at the family barbecue. Everyone's laughing, but the laughter has teeth. Your cousin is on his 3rd drink. Your uncle is complaining about kids these days who think they're too good for honest work, and your mother keeps asking why you're still single at your age. Your chest tightens, your jaw clenches. You smile anyway. Later that night, you lie in your childhood bed, staring at the same glow-in-the-dark stars you put up at 12, and the thought arrives like a quiet thunderclap. I cannot become them. So you start planning, quietly, ferociously. You research scholarships, visas, remote jobs, anything that puts miles between you and the gravitational pull of failure disguised as tradition. You move, you cry in the U-Haul, you call home less, and for the first time in your life, your nervous system exhales. The hidden superpower you carry. Here's what nobody tells the ones who leave. The very act of leaving rewires you into someone extraordinarily resilient. You become fluent in chosen family. You learn how to build safety instead of inheriting it. You develop an almost supernatural ability to spot red flags in relationships, careers, even cities. Your tolerance for mediocrity drops to 0 because you've seen what it costs. Post-traumatic growth is real. Studies from the University of North Carolina show that people who successfully differentiate from dysfunctional families report higher levels of autonomy, purpose, and life satisfaction 10 years later than those who stayed loyal. You are the salmon that swam upstream. You are the dandelion seed that landed on concrete and still bloomed. You are the proof that blood does not have to be destiny. The shadow side, the weight you still feel. But let's be honest, the shadow is heavy. There are nights you stare at your phone and the last text from your mother just says, "We miss you." Two words that land like stones in your stomach. Guilt is the tax ambitious people from difficult families pay forever. You wonder, am I the cold one? The selfish one? The one who will die alone because I chose ambition over belonging? Loneliness hits differently when it's chosen. You can be surrounded by friends in a new city and still feel like an orphan of circumstance. Some days the ache is so loud you almost buy the plane ticket home. Almost.
Why society gets it wrong. Society romanticizes family is everything. Hallmark movies, Facebook posts. Even some therapists will tell you to repair the relationship at all costs. But they rarely grew up in homes where love was conditional on staying small. Blood is not thicker than water when the water is poison. Loyalty is not a virtue when it demands self-erasure. And going home is not healing when home is where the original wound lives. You are not rejecting family. You are rejecting the version of family that required your failure to keep the peace. The beautiful outcome. The lighthouse you didn't know you were. One day, maybe years from now, a younger cousin will message you at 2 a.m. "I can't breathe here. I want what you have. How did you do it?" And you'll realize every mile you put between you and the old patterns became a runway for someone else. Your nieces and nephews will grow up hearing stories about the aunt or uncle who just left and somehow made it. They will see that leaving isn't abandonment, it's alchemy. You broke the chain. You paid the price in guilt, in lonely holidays, in the quiet grief of becoming the first. And because you did, the next generation gets to inherit possibility instead of pain. You are the proof that one person's courage can rewrite an entire bloodline. So, here's my question for you. What did leaving teach you that staying never could? Drop it in the comments. Your story might be the exact lighthouse someone else needs tonight. If this video found the part of you that still feels guilty for wanting more, hit that like button. It tells the algorithm that these kinds of conversations matter. And if you want early scripts, private live streams, and a community of people who also chose the hard, beautiful path of becoming, consider joining our members-only circle. Next time, we're exploring the psychology of those who feel everything twice as deeply, the quiet empaths who learned to protect their light. Until then, keep going. The distance was never the betrayal. It was the beginning of your becoming. I'll see you in the next one.